Welcome. Today I'm driving out to the Patuxent River. It's raining, but the rain should let up a little bit soon, and I'm hoping what that will do for me is cause some fog to start to come up. So I'm heading to one of my favorite forests to see if there's anything interesting to shoot. I plan on using some trails I haven't used before. So what I'm really hoping for is to find beech trees with their wonderful leaves still intact, because they've gone to this wonderful light brown color at this point, and that should be fantastic. I don't know. Let's see what we find, see how it goes, and just enjoy ourselves. I brought rain gear. It'll be a good day. So we've just arrived, and while going over the Patuxent, I noticed that the water was extremely calm and that it was misty. Misty is a very, very good thing. So hopefully the day will be everything I desire. Well, good news, I'm not on any one of those. And I left my boy at home today. This is one of my favorite forests to come to. It's got a lot of beech trees and a good number of twisted trees if you look really hard. So I'm going to walk down towards the river and see if there's any mist down there. And then I'm going to come back up to the highlands and see if there's any opportunities on the highlands to get some beech trees. There are quite a few trees here that still have their leaves. That's a plus, at least for my purposes. Man, this is what it's all about. I love being out here. One of the interesting things about this woodland is that it has a number of environments. It has river with pretty dense marsh. It has upland forest. It has lowland forest. It's a really fantastic place to visit. So we'll see how we fare. There's no mist. This day may be a bust, but I'm gonna make a video out of it anyway. It's we'll get something. I'll find something to shoot. I don't like forcing it, but there's cool stuff out here. I think I'll be able to pull something. I just flew the drone, and I got some pretty cool footage from that, and I shot a couple of photos from it too, which I'll show you now. So even on a bad day, a drone can pull some pretty nifty stuff. However, let's see what we can do. I thought this was an oxbow behind me. I love oxbows. So let's go in this way, over to this way. It looks like an oxbow, but when you see it from above, as you just saw in the photo, It's totally different from what you expect. Still beautiful though. All right, I've just strolled over to this stick structure you see behind me here. We'll go explore it for a second. I just recorded a whole mess of video and realized my Bluetooth button wasn't working on the gimbal. Thanks DJI. And so I'm gonna give you a look at it. And we'll see what we can do. Here is the structure. First time I was here was months ago, and it was in a little better shape. You can see it's got this horizontal that was holding everything up, and it's all sort of slid over. Yes, slid. It all slid over. But you can see inside it was set up to be a shelter. I'm sure that this was built by the Boy Scouts or something like that, because they were teaching them how to make a shelter in the woods. But we should be able to get something halfway decent from it. I don't know. I'm gonna set up a shot and we'll see what we can get. You see here, this vertical, these group of verticals, and from the top of this edge of the image, your eye wanders down and bounces into this tree, back over, up, down, back over. It's a common technique for creating a pleasing composition that will allow your eye to bounce back and forth and not allow it to, leave the frame. So we'll see how it works out. I'll get the shot and we'll move on. Well, it's sort of a neat little area I found. It's clearly been put here by the Boy Scout troop. It's got a cardinal points of the compass here, so you can stand there and know what is where. And we have this nifty board that shows the woods, and then the Boy Scout troop's names. That's pretty neat. The things you find in the middle of the woods. All right, off we go. So as many days are, this hasn't been the most fruitful of days, but that's okay. It's wonderful to walk around, and I find neat things like that Boy Scout installation, and I got to fly the drone, which I love doing, and made a couple photographs of that, and shot that weird little, what's it called? Sheltered tent. I want to call it a tent, the shelter thing. That was pretty neat. And so now I'm gonna start making my way back to the car. Have a dinner at Nat Geo tonight with you, Joe. That should be fun. And I'll see what I find on the way to the car. Just want to run my mouth a little bit about woodland photography. Shooting woodland photography is an interesting pastime. It's difficult. It's not. It's harder than any other form of landscape photography I've ever done. I'm currently writing a blog post that may be published by the time I get this video out. But walking around in the woods, looking through all the distractions, trying to see things that are meaningful in the landscape, and trying to do it with, like I said, with all the distractions. And then what I'd write about in my blog post is the hardest part is you have to completely pre-visualize the image before you can actually shoot it. Because if you don't, you'll end up just making an image that you can't do much with, that will just confound you and frustrate you. That's why it took me so long to try to get an image of that shelter, is because the shelter itself, it's interesting, but how is it interesting in relation to the landscape? Is it a part of the landscape? Is it something that draws you in? Is it going to be purely a geometric construction in the image? You have to think of all these things before you make the shot. I think I'm about done here today. I'm not sure. I did just find this great section that has all this crazy moss off the path. Maybe I'll find something interesting with that. A neat tree with the crazy moth leading up to it. We'll see. I have time for one more shot today. So Let's see what we can find. And that was a neat little rock installation. There's been rocks all over the park here that I assume were done by children. Well, I mean, I think it's safe to say. We're walking along, and there's this little painted rock. I've seen 4 of them now, and that's the first one I photographed. Oh, I saw this from a distance. I have this marked in my GPS from the past. It's an amazing tree. I'm waiting for it to be foggy out here, but I may see if I can find a composition for it now. So that was an excellent day. No, I didn't get more than maybe 1-2 photo stops. But it was a great hike, beautiful day. Got to fly the drone. I always love flying the drone. And it was just really enjoyable. And that's really, in the end, what this is all about. That's why I take you with me. That's why I teach photography. That's why I do photography. So I'm one of the lucky ones. I do what I love. I do what I enjoy. So we're gonna head home now, and if I have anything interesting to say about the photos, I will. And I want to thank you for watching again. I hope you'll subscribe and hit the thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't like it. And turn on notifications so you know when I've put one of these out. And I really hope to see you next week. Thanks for watching.